Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Final Hard Knocks, the season finale in the books. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but rough ending. Tough. The episode, actually, it starts off, we start off in scene with everybody getting their cold gear on. You see the Vaseline getting put on the arms, the cold masks, so everybody's like sitting here, like they got their little peepers through. Frigid temperatures. They even show Taylor Swift in the frosty luxury box. Everything is getting set. And right when Jason Sanders kicks, 5 days ago, and they flash on back, and they're reviewing the film of the Bills' loss. Not great, but Darrell Bevell, he's a glass half full guy. I guess you have to be as a coach, where he goes, hey, we're 0-0. All we have now is the path. Which, I mean, yes, but it's kind of like the path has been chosen, but you're going on a hike and it's way scarier. Like, there's going to be bats and there's going to be wolves and it's going to be cold. And that maybe you don't have very much in your canteen. That's kind of the path that they could have chosen instead of just like the nice little trail. It's the difference between like going hiking and then like going on a nature walk, right? Like a nature walk, people go on a nature walk, intangibles, and it's just like, oh, there's a bridge and you see some squirrels. Maybe you get a little bit crazy. And like in Central Florida, you'll see like the wild monkeys that are like right there in the middle island, something like that. But you're never going to be really in the path of adversity. And instead, now the Dolphins have learned they have to go actually hiking. And it's going to be some rough terrain, and you better put your boots on. That's the path that they've chosen, Darrell. But appreciate it, Coach. In the midst of this scene, Tua learns that Nick Saban is retiring, and we learn of Roll Tide Willie, who I've only seen him in the bit with Drewski, the guy, the comedian. I didn't know this guy had his own page. I guess I'm not hip on the TikTok. I gotta go check him out. He looks hilarious, but he is a crazed. I don't know if it's a bit or this is actually him and he's just filming himself, but he is like barefoot in the back streets, the back roads of Alabama, and it's something, man. We do get a little bit of a goosey scene with Tua and Waddle and their relationship and, how they've been playing together since college. So that was kind of cool. I enjoyed that. Raheem Mostert, and Waddle were on their comeback trail, and Mike McDaniel's trying to say, hey, are you feeling a lot better? I'm feeling a lot better. You feeling a lot better? I'm feeling a lot better. Are you feeling a lot better? I'm feeling a lot better. So Mostert's on the mend. And then we go to Tyreek, and Tyreek has an idea. He's an ideas man. And the cheetah wants the fast guys to now race for charity, but he wants them to race with singlets on, with the cajones hanging out. Like that's what he wants. He wants that just showing. And I'm like, oh, all right. That's going to be the outfit they go with. Interesting. So it was a fun episode in the start of it. And then they go to Mike McDaniel, and he walks into the auditorium. They do a cool scene. It's like him and Chris Greer walk in. Mike McDaniel's got his strawberry Red Bull with him. They're walking towards the auditorium. He gets down there, starts speaking, and he's talking about the idea of the fact that it's going to be freezing in Kansas City. He's going to make it more fun. And he says, I don't know about you guys, but in a breeze I'm cold. And he cannot wait to get to the cold. And he was actually saying that last year in Buffalo, they were more hurt. Which, to my recollection, I don't remember them being more hurt, to be fair. I don't remember the people missing on the Buffalo injury report. I do, of course, we all remember that on offense he was more hurt because, the line was a little bit in tatters and Tua was hurt. So, I think from an offensive coach's perspective, yeah, you can definitely say that they were more hurt. From a defensive perspective, I don't recall that being the case, but I'll take his word for it. Either way, they had a much better showing last year than they did this year. So that was something. But Zach Sealer, he was loving it. He was like, this is the first time I ever saw Mike McDaniel give a speech, and I saw somebody actually into it. Which again, I don't put on him. I just think people hate morning meetings. But Zach Sealer was actually like, yeah, I can't wait for the cold. And by his outfit, you could actually say, yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true. He said, Mike McDaniel's like, if you want to do something epic, be a warm weather team that hasn't won a playoff game in a quarter century and do what people say you can't. It's a great speech. I can't knock the speech. He gave some good speech fodder. So then they do a little Patrick Mahomes feature. Go to Tyreek Hill because of his time with the Chiefs, and him and Mostert are talking about his big play in the Super Bowl that he won with Kansas City. So that was kind of cool. Underthrown, by the way. It is possible for other quarterbacks besides Tua to underthrow footballs. It does happen, but Mahomes is the best. There is no debate about this. That guy has horns. He is the GOAT right now. So then they go to Mostert, Mike McDaniel. They're talking to Tua, and they're talking about T-Swift, Tay-Tay. And they're saying that Tua, you need to go ball out so you make Taylor Swift a fan of your game, of your orchestration of the offense. I was like, oh, all right. Tua didn't seem that very into it. I think if you would have told him it was Shania Twain, Tua would have balled out. I don't think he really does. I really don't think Tua, what we learned here, not a Swiftie. And that's not there. They go to the outside linebackers. They talk about all the old guys that they're bringing in. Do a cool feature on Melvin Ingram. I really like Melvin Ingram. He was a lot of fun. They go to Prime Italian and him, him talking about this whole thing, and he's a big fan of Mike McDaniel. So get to the game. To be fair, even knowing what the result was, badass Phil Collins in the air tonight montage. It was Goosey's galore, dude. I mean, hard for me not when you put a Miami team with in the air tonight that I'm not going to get Goosey's, but it was great because I can feel it calling, and that's like all the cold breath like a dragon, dude. It was all in there. Oh, that I mean, it was something. Oh, it was good. It was really good. So they go to the game. Zach Sealer worried about the refs, how cold they are. Says they're smart for wearing 6 layers. Then poor Raekwon Davis. His cheeks are showing. His pants ripped. That's brutal. And so the game's going as we remember it going. The defense like, we need to play. We just need to play. And then Tua, he hits Tyreek for the bomb. He's saying, throw that B, lean on me when you're not strong. Well, they couldn't lean on him after that. That was the only good play, but it was cool when that happened. Mike McDaniel, as they're going to halftime, he shouted, "It's on! It's on!" It was not on. Just on. We did get a Fangs halftime speech. That was cool. Fangs was just like, "We need a takeaway." They did not get that takeaway, but they did need a takeaway. He's right about that. Raheem Mostert's wife referred to the Kansas City Chiefs mascot as a dirty hamster. Hard to disagree. KC Wolf does have some dirty hamster qualities. But the offense was stinking up the joint. And in fact, Mike McDaniel, they go to the sideline. He's just like, we can't do. That was, I think, when reality was sinking in, nothing was going to happen. And then they go to Jalen Waddle, who just speaks for all Dolph fans, where Waddle was just like, man, we can't put up 7 points. The defense did all it can do. This bleep is annoying as you know what. He goes, if anything, the defense should be struggling. You're right, Jalen. One would think that is the way it would go, but nope. So the only last thing that they show is the roughing the passer with Wilkins and the blatant misholding, and Mike McDaniel was furious about that. So that was the end, man. That was the end of the game, basically. It was a Tyreek Hill saying, it was a fun year. He's on the bench. They go, it's a fun year. Had our ups and downs. And Andy Reid tells Mike McDaniel that, hey, you had a hell of a year. But then you didn't see he ruffled his hair and he called him Sport. You had a hell of a year, Sport. Just kidding. And then the final thing of note was Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel was in the locker room giving a little speechy speech. Very emotional. And the thing that he said was that he is proud that there's less finger pointing and more wondering about what I could have done. What more could have I done? And he says that includes myself. So he goes, we did exactly what we said we didn't want to do, was just get to the playoffs and get bounced. He says, but there's a lot of, and this was his quote, championship on this team. He goes, and it's a bleeping shame. This hurts, man. Guys made me proud of how you battled, and I'm honored to be your coach. So he goes, this is going to be tough to get through, but that's okay. So there was that. It was a good speech. I'll give it to McDaniel. It was a good end of the year speech. Didn't make me feel much better, but it was a good end of the year speech by Mike McDaniel. And then Christian Wilkins, the last thing of note is that he gives a speech, and he said most fun he's had in the league, and basically was like, have the right mindset and take this with you into the offseason, into next year. But he said you guys. He did not say we. Does that hint that, he thinks he's on the outskis? I don't know. But Christian Wilkins was awesome this year. Hard Knocks, great show. Now, to be fair, things did seem to go downhill when we got Hard Knocks. The injuries, the record, all that. But I enjoyed the hell out of the show. I thought it was entertaining. I don't think it had anything to do with the downfall. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting a look into this team. It just got to be a very depressing ending.